If you're wondering how to make Facebook Reels for business, you are in the right place. And they are an incredible opportunity for business owners because Reels always get more reach than any other kind of content on Facebook, other than paid ads, of course. But if you don't have thousands of dollars to dive into the confusing world of paid ads, Reels is our best bet, and it can be amazing when done right. So let's walk through how to record your reel, how to add stickers and graphics and music and all of those different things. Whether you're making a super complex reel or something super basic, we'll walk through every single step right now. And if you stay till the end, we're going to go through the important upload settings that everybody should know about, even if you're posting Reels, plus something everyone using Reels for their business should turn on. It's a little setting, it's very fast, but it basically tells Facebook, yes, please show these to more people, and I'll tell you what that is coming up as well. And as I said, we're going to start at the very beginning, but maybe you've already got your reel, you've made your video in another program, you just want to know how to upload it in the right settings. Go to the chapters in the description of this video, and you can jump to any section at any time, because I know your time is valuable, and I want to respect that. Now I'm on my phone because Reels generally are created on a phone. So this looks a little different if you're uploading to a Facebook business page or a Facebook profile. So we'll start with the business page. So make sure you have selected your Facebook business page in the Facebook app. You're going to click that big blue plus sign at the bottom. And then we're going to choose Reel. And this is the start screen for making a reel. So on a Facebook profile, you're just going to tap this plus sign on the top. Then choose Reel, the third option on my screen. And this is the start screen for creating a reel. Now, if you don't have that blue plus sign up in the corner, here's the other way to do it. This is actually my profile, and I don't have that blue plus sign, even though everyone I've ever seen does. But just in case this is you, down in the tray, you're going to click the Videos tab, which is the one with the play button on it. Then you're going to click Reels in the tabs across the top. And then you're going to click the camera icon on the upper right there. And here we are, just in case that other way didn't work for you. So the next step is to choose how you want to start, okay? And so first option there in the purple is camera, purple, blue, whatever color you refer to that as. That is if you want to actually record your reel right here in the Facebook app, which we're going to look at here in just a second. The next option is music, and this is still fine if you want to record in the Facebook app, but if you want to add music before you do your reel, then you would tap that. You can search for music or artists, and it's quite a big library. If you want to hear what something sounds like, you just hit the play button next to it on the right. And if you want to bookmark something and save it for later, then you can just tap that little bookmark button, and that'll be saved in case there's a song you want to use over and over again, or if you don't want to use it right now, but you like it and you want to use it later. The next option is to use templates, and this is a big time saver if you haven't made videos before or if you just want to save time. And so the way this works is you can look at other people's videos that they've made, other people's reels. At the bottom, it'll show you how long it is and how many clips there are in it. So you're going to have to add that many clips. So for example, if I scroll down, let's click on this beautiful waterfront one. I love that. And it'll show you the reel at the top, and then at the bottom it shows you how long the clips are. And so you would tap on the plus sign and then add your own clips, and it will automatically put them in and create the reel for you. If you use photos more than videos, this can be a really fast way to create a really cool looking video just using photos. If I scroll over, the next option is effects. And so there are tons of effects in here. You can tap that. And again, this is all to apply these before you record if you want. So here I am, and I can swipe through the bottom and find these different effects. And it takes a second and it'll automatically apply it. So, some people might consider these filters. And so maybe you want to find something really fun and unique. Hey, look, I'm in a club. Some of them just sort of brighten you up. Whatever it might be, lots of stuff down there you can play with. Those are going to be the most popular ones or ones you've used recently, but you can also tap more effects and find tons more down here. By the way, if you're nervous about being on camera, finding a nice filter that makes you feel better about yourself or the way you look or anything like that can be a great way to get started with making reels with your face on camera. This next option here is for green screen, and even if you don't have a green screen, the ability to look like you're anywhere is actually pretty impressive, depending on how much you move around. So here I am in my studio, but I can come down here and I can decide that I am going to be somewhere else. Okay, so now here I am standing in my mansion, I guess. I don't know. Now, of course, the background doesn't move when you move the camera. You can also choose things from your camera roll. Sometimes I forget I'm the kind of guy who takes photos of sunsets, but here's a photo of a sunset that I used. And if at any point you decide you don't want a background, you can just come back to scenes and then tap that first box there, removes the background, and then go back up and hit done, or of course you could hit cancel. And then there's one more option here. If you happen to post a lot of Facebook stories, you can tap that and it will actually take your Facebook stories and make them into Reels. So might be something fun to play with. And then this second row of tabs underneath the boxes at the top. Gallery, this is where you can choose all kinds of different media that you want to use. Saved is if you have saved audio. So for example, apparently at some point I bookmarked that Backstreet Boys song. You can also save effects, and those will be showing up here as well. Drafts, if you have started to create a reel, you can save it as a draft. They will automatically get removed after 60 days, or sometimes if your app crashes or any number of things. So I don't recommend relying entirely on that. And then ready-made reels, once you're regularly creating content, stories, photos, videos, Facebook will turn those automatically into a reel. Now, as an entrepreneur and a business owner, I can't see those necessarily being good for your marketing, just because who knows what they're going to put together. Obviously, you'd watch it before you used it, but it might be something worth taking a look at once you've created some more reels. And then all of these down at the bottom are things that are on your camera roll on your phone. You can choose and go through different folders. You can tap this little music note icon, because maybe you don't want to use a video, you just want to use the audio from that video. It'll just show everything that has audio that you can take. And if you wanted to select multiple clips to put into a reel, then you tap that select multiple, and then you can choose more than one thing. But for this tutorial, so what we're going to do is we're going to hit that camera box on the top left there, and we're going to open up that camera again. And here is where we are going to record our Facebook reel, and then we can come back and add effects later. You will notice some things up here on the screen, audio. So if you wanted to add a song before you recorded your video, so you could hear it while you were recording, you could do that there, just like we did with the other box earlier. Speed would be if you wanted to do a fast or a slow video, you can type on that and change the speed. Effects we showed you before, this just shows you another way to access it. And then a timer, if you want to make sure your video is only a certain amount of time, you can change it down here. So 90 seconds is the max, but maybe you want to make sure the video is no more than 15 seconds and you want to stop automatically, you can do that. And if you want to count down, so let's say you have to set it and you want to hit record, you can have a 3-second or a 10-second countdown there on your settings. All right, so let's record a reel. To do that, you can just tap the record button at the bottom there and it will start recording. And at the top, you can see a little red bar that's moving and it's counting down from 1.5 minutes, 90 seconds, which is the max that you can have based on the settings that I had in there. And then when you're done, you can just hit that record button again and it will automatically stop. Now, the other thing you can do is you can hold down the record button, and when you let go of it, it will stop recording. So let me record an actual clip that we can use as we edit this. If you're a business owner and you're not making Facebook Reels, you are missing out on the best gift we have ever been given. Okay, so when I was done, I let go. Now I'm gonna go and record an additional clip. So that first clip has been saved, and you can tell by the little red line up here at the top. And now I'm gonna record an additional clip by holding it down again, but I'm just gonna turn just to change the background up a little bit. Facebook Reels is the only kind of content on Facebook that will be shown to your followers as well as people who don't follow you, especially if it's a video that people really like. Let go again, and I'll face forward again. So if you're not making reels for your business, you need to make reels starting today. Close this out right now and go make your first reel. So now I've recorded 3 different clips. If you're just recording one clip, that is totally fine. Sometimes I like doing multiple clips because then I don't have to memorize a whole script though. Once you're happy with your recording, you hit next down here at the bottom. And now it's showing me what I just recorded, and we've got all those options there on the right that we'll look at here in just a second. But first, I'm gonna hit this edit button down at the bottom. And this kind of brings up a traditional editing timeline, and you can see my 3 clips there. And what I can do is go through, and if the clips do not line up the way that I want. If you're a business owner and you're not making Facebook Reels, you are missing out on the best gift we have ever been given. So that's playing back my video, and it was a little loose at the top, so I can basically put my finger on either side, these yellow handles, and I can trim it up to right where I start talking, okay? And if you need to, you can also pinch and zoom with your fingers or thumbs and zoom way in on it to make it a little bit easier. You're a business owner, and now I find it hard. Maybe I've got big fingers to trim my clips that way. And so sometimes what I will do is I will just skim the video with my finger to the part where I know I want it to be. And then down here at the bottom, I will swipe over and I will choose split. And what it did is it actually made another clip in the middle there, and then I can delete that one. So I find that to be easier. Gift we have ever been. Facebook Reels is the To be fully transparent, I actually edit all my reels in a different software program and then bring them in. And at the end of this video, let me show you that, because I've actually got my editing reels process down to less than 5 minutes, and you don't have to do anything like this with your thumbs. So we'll show you that here in just a second. A few more things you can do in this screen. Down at the bottom, see that reorder button? You can tap that. And if all of a sudden you realize, oh, I want this clip first, you can just use your finger to drag and drop it over there to the beginning. If you filmed things that happen to be out of order, you can still add more clips, lots of different options there. You're a business owner and you're not making Facebook Reels. You are missing out on. You can select a clip and click that trash can to delete it. If you want to reshoot a clip, you can tap that camera icon and just reshoot it, and it'll appear in the same place, which is nice. Adjust is more if you're doing something where you're not doing a talking video and you just want to decide which part of the video that you want to use in that section. So you can basically just drag it back and forth. Now, this is obviously not a very long clip, so there's only so much I can move it, but you get the idea. Auto trim is supposedly going to go through and find the best parts. Oh, that's an interesting face there on me. And it generally never works the way that I expect, so don't really recommend that. But it's a good time to show you that here, just on the lower right of the main video screen, you have a little undo button. And so if you do something that messes it up, you can always undo it. If you want to change the speed of your clip, tap speed, and you can go through and have it play 2x, 3x, or even slow it down. You can crop your video. Mirror your video basically means it'll flip it so you're facing the other way. Reverse would be to play your video backwards. That takes a couple seconds to process. I'm going to hit cancel. So now I'm going to go back to the full screen to edit, which I'm going to hit done in the upper right corner in order to do that. So now we're going to go through the settings on the side here, and starting with the first one there at the top, that says audio, and that is to add music, add voiceover, or adjust your audio at all. So if I tap on that, the video keeps playing above, and down below, this first slider is where I was just turning the audio up and down. The opportunity to miss 3. Okay, and so this is obviously a talking video, so I would have that up, but I have it down right now since I don't want to be interrupted by myself. So that's there. Now, if I want to add music, I'm going to type add music, or tap, not type. And then I showed you this before when we were going through the options at the top before you record. Same type of thing. You can choose a song that you want. If you bookmark something, you want to find it later, you tap the little bookmark icon on the upper right corner, and everything you've saved will be there. And so I'm just going to go ahead and choose this first one. I've used it before. I know it's an instrumental, so I'm just going to tap on it. And let me turn it down just to make sure it's not drowning me out. So it'll just play in the background, and you can use that slider to adjust how loud you want it to be. Now, when you are doing this, you're going to want it super quiet, quieter than you think it should be. Because depending on if somebody is using good headphones, bad headphones, no headphones, old phone, new phone, a lot of times what happens is you make a video and the music ends up way too loud in the background, okay? And so I literally, some of these editors have counters, this one doesn't, but I would just literally have it down here around 5 to 8% is where you're gonna want it. Look, right now, you are missing out on the opportunity to reach thousands of new people without having to spend. So you hear that, and the way that that sounds, you probably think, oh, that's way too quiet, but you always want to err on the side of too quiet with this stuff. And if you wanted to change the music, to the left of that slider, you tap that little icon, it'll bring you back here to the music screen. And then if you want to add a voiceover, you tap the add voiceover button, and you can either tap to record or hold it down just like we did for video, and you'll add your voice talking over this video clip. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn those down because they'll keep playing in the background as I show you these other features. So we'll just keep them down for now. Next up is text. And so if you want to add on-screen text, you tap that text button. Lots of ways you can do text. As a minimum, we'll do closed captions in a minute, which are important, and I'll tell you why. But as a minimum, I strongly encourage you to put some sort of attention-grabbing hook on the screen. So for example, I'll type, why business owners must post reels. Now that's white on a white background, which is not ideal, and we'll fix that in a second. But over here on the left, there's this slider, and you can make your text bigger or smaller, so you can decide how you want it to fit on the screen. Once we're done with this, you can actually resize it overall. So the main thing you're doing here is thinking, okay, do I want this on 2 lines? Do I want it to try and fit all on 1 line? Do I want it to be across 3 lines, 4 lines, different things like that? So let's make it on 3 lines for now. Then at the bottom, you can swipe through these different types of text that you might want to use. So there's all these sort of different fonts and styles. I'm going to stick with that main kind. Then the other text settings are all across the top. And so starting with that first one, that is, maybe you put text on a video and you're not speaking in the video and you want to use an automated voice to do that. You can tap that, and then they have 5 different voices that you can choose to say that line.
Business owners must post reels.
Business owners must post reels.
Business owners must post reels.
So as you can hear, there's lots of different options there if you want to do that. The next one is timing. So if you tap that, it's going to actually open up this timeline view again. And if you didn't want your hook to be on the whole time, you can actually, just like we did with clips, you can actually move it so it only shows up, for example, here. That'll be the first 1.8 seconds of that. Probably want it longer than that, but that's fine. We'll leave it there for now. So now we come back out. The next one is all about choosing the colors. So I can tap on that and I can change the color of the text to all of these different colors here, which is nice. And then the next icon, which is the AA inside that box, this is where you change the way that it looks. So you can have a colored background, you can have a semi-transparent background, or no background. So you can cycle through those. And once you've done that, you can also cycle through the colors again at the bottom and decide how it should look. And then the last one is justification. So you tap that, it goes justified left, justified right, justified center, and just repeats through that. So I think for this, I'm going to stick with justified left on that one. Then I'm going to hold my thumb down on it, and I'm going to move it to the upper right corner, and then I'm going to pinch to zoom that technique to kind of make it a little bit smaller. So I'm going to have it sitting right there. So remember, when you're making these things, there's always going to be icons over here on the right when somebody's watching a reel, and down here there'll probably be a caption or your username, or sometimes I've seen ads down there. So you definitely want to keep that in mind as you're creating this. And there's always stuff at the top too. So you can see these sort of border lines that are popping up, which are helpful as you're replacing text and other elements on your video. And if at any point you've added something in your video you don't want, you can also drag it down to the bottom. There's a little trash can there, hold it over it, and it'll automatically just delete it. I'm going to go ahead and keep that for now, though. Next up is the Clip Hub, and that's essentially a bunch of really quick clips that can be added to your program, and these are all things that Facebook has negotiated the rights to use, even though you probably see some commercial TV shows and movies in here that you recognize. So that's kind of neat. So they're kind of grouped by different things: reactions, TV and movies, transitions, things like that. Let's say I said something really dramatic, and at the end I wanted to add this one on the upper right that says, "How dare you?" Well, first of all, you can tap the bookmark if you want to save it for later, but otherwise I'm going to tap that. And then as I play that, you can just see it basically added it to the back of my clip. And so you can put them in the middle, you can drag them wherever you want. So a bunch more material that you can use in your reels. Next up is effects, and we looked at these before we started creating, and essentially you can swipe through, and the most popular ones or the ones you've used before will show up at the beginning. So if you wanted to add an effect, you can do that. Sometimes it's a fun way to stand out. Below that is captions. Now, 85% of videos on Facebook, in the last study I saw, are watched without captions. So you're going to want to do captions in some way. So some of these are similar to the other text tools that we saw. So it automatically makes the captions. If you want to edit them, you can tap this little edit captions button and they come up and you can edit them. I strongly recommend, even if you're not going to bother to edit them, and they're usually pretty accurate, put them up, even if you're not going to edit them, okay? And you can swipe through, again, different caption types that you want. Up here at the top, you have the color tools again, if you want to change them to different colors. And again, you can have something behind them. So all of those are available to you. And just like the other text, once it's there, you can drag them around, resize them, put them wherever you want them to be. Now I'm just going to take them off for now because our screen's getting a little crowded. So below that is stickers, and Clip Hub was basically a place to add clips into your video, not on top of your video. Stickers is more things to add on top of your video. So if you've done Facebook or Instagram stories, you might recognize some of these, like temperature and time and things like that. You've also got a full library of GIFs from Giphy that you can search, emojis, different things like that. And so you can find one, and just like the other elements, you can drag it around, you can pinch and zoom to resize it, and then if you don't need it, you can always drag it down to the trash and it will be gone. And then the last one down there at the bottom says save, and it has a little down arrow. You can tap that, and you can either choose to save it as a draft if you want to come back and edit it later, which is nice in case you get interrupted and you need to save your work. And it'll last for 60 days, but it will get deleted, just so you know, in case sometimes when the app crashes or things like that. So I wouldn't rely on it too much. Or you can click download, the second option, and it'll save the copy of the video to your device. Just so you know, any commercial stuff, for example, if let's say you use a Taylor Swift song, it'll mute your audio because it will not let you save something like that to your camera roll. Now we'll go through the publishing settings in order. The first one you may not see, but if you want to add a custom cover photo to this, so in other words, if somebody goes and looks at this video and they don't play it, this is what will show up. You tap on top of the thumbnail that's there. It looks like you can kind of see there's a little picture image there, and you can go through and choose a thumbnail from somewhere in your video if you want. That's obviously a lovely one. Or you can create a graphic somewhere else and you choose add from gallery. And basically you can add something that looks nice, like I do these for mine sometimes, from your camera roll. Then in the upper right corner, I'm going to hit save. Next, you're going to describe your reel and add hashtags if you want to. Important thing to know compared to some of these other short form video platforms, whatever you type up here is just going to be one jumbled paragraph. There's not really line breaks as of this recording. So I tend to usually have shorter captions on a Facebook reel than I do on an Instagram reel for that exact reason. The caption is not required though. You do not have to put it there. Next up, who can see this reel? You can tap, mine is set to public because I publish most of my stuff publicly, so anybody can see whether they're following me or friends with me or anything like that. But you can tap that down arrow and then you can go through and choose using a few settings here who can actually see your reel. If you're marketing your business, I think it's always good to keep it public. Next, you can tag people. So if somebody else is in your reel and your video, you can tag them. Share to Instagram. This is if you want to automatically cross-post it to Instagram. And so this is where you turn on this toggle and they would automatically get shared to Instagram as well. Next is add topics. So in order for Facebook to show your reel to people who aren't following you, they need to know what it's about so they can show it to people who are interested in those kind of things. So this is just kind of a way you can narrow it down. You can click in here. You can't make any topic you want. You kind of have to choose from these. Don't try and tap everything. You'll just confuse the algorithm. But if there's one of these that really makes sense, then you can add it to it right now. I don't think anything on here really fits this video or any of the videos I make, so I rarely use that one. The next is tag a business partner. If you are doing a paid partnership with somebody, you can add that. And then the next one is you can invite a collaborator. And this is where if you are sort of co-creating this with somebody else, you would add them there, and then it would actually go out as a reel from you and the other person. So it's like you both put it out. It'll get shared to both of your audiences. And if your audiences are aligned, you can get way more reach this way. So I strongly encourage you to do collaborations if you can find people that are the right fit. And of course, they are up for it too. You do have to put them in there and then they'll get a notification that they've been invited to collaborate. They have to accept it. Okay. So you can't just put anybody in there and all of a sudden they're your collaborator. What I've found is sometimes those notifications get missed. So if I've planned a collaboration with somebody, as I often do on my podcast, The 6 Ways, which is an interview show, I'll release clips with both of us as the collaborators, myself and the guest. I will let them know, hey, just sent you a notification to be a collaborator. Accept it, and then this will go out to both of our audiences. Now, if you've gotten this far and you haven't saved it as a draft, you have another chance to tap that little down arrow on the folder on the lower left. That is also an opportunity to save as a draft. Otherwise, if you're ready to go, you can just hit share now and your reel will go up. Two more important things to know. If you are using a personal Facebook profile and you're publishing reels for your business, you're going to want to increase your reach, and you can do that by turning on professional mode. So watch that to learn what that's all about. And if you want to edit them faster, like edit your reels in less than 5 minutes using an external tool that's amazing, then definitely watch that video. Links to both of those are in the description, just in case you want to watch both of them. Watch one now, and then you can find the other one there. And I will see you in our next video.